Welcome back, my friends. This is video number 2 for today, as they released a new Super Elemental costume and a brand new slime. So without further ado, since I did the Super Elemental, let's get into this Slaymire slime. He's looking quite interesting, very Executioner style, or perhaps just enjoys some after-hour activities. I'm not sure. Let's see what this guy can do, though. We do have the Barbarian class. This isn't exactly my favorite class. I said that for the last one because the Super Elemental also happened to be Barbarian. But it is still interesting. You get some extra bleed damage in with your attacks. Okay, so a reminder of what we get for the Slime Family bonus. It is a bonus for 1, 2, or 3 heroes. Mega Minions, Mega Fiends, and Fiends summoned by allies get plus 10, plus 15, plus 20% attack, based on the number of slimes in the party. So, it's a good way to increase the attack of your fiends, and minions, whether they be regular or mega ones. This guy is going to make them hit harder, and that is kind of fun. Okay, down here in the passives department, there's nothing new. We get our slime passives. We get slime minion upon defeat. So when this character is killed, he's going to summon a slime mega minion to his nearby allies with that 50% HP and 40% attack. It does create a little extra survivability and can be frustrating at times, so it's pretty cool. All right, then we also get slime minion split. If this character receives more than 25% of their max health at once, they will summon a slime mega minion for themselves with the 50% HP and 40% attack. That creates a little self-survivability, which is also very helpful. I do enjoy that with these slime characters. Okay, now over here in the Aether Power department, we get attack up. So for the first 6 turns of this battle, he will get plus 20% attack, or I guess any battle. For the first 6 turns, he gets plus 20% attack. It is helpful and usually will allow you to get your first attack off at a stronger hit. But let's take a look at what we have for an attack. We get Gluttonous Execution. So Gluttonous Execution will be operating at average mana speed, dealing 630% damage to the target. If the target is defeated by the attack, all allies get plus 30% mana, and their health is boosted by 1200. Boosted health can exceed max HP, and after 1 turn, the target gets paralyzed for 4 turns. All right, so let's take a quick reminder of what Paralyze actually does. Additional info. Paralyzed enemies cannot attack or gain mana and receive plus 50% increased damage. Once paralyzed, the effect cannot be cleansed. Bosses, Titans, Mythic Titans are not affected by this status ailment. So think of Paralyze as basically like a more permanent version of Sleep. So they can't attack, they won't gain mana, they do take an increased 50% damage instead of the 70% during Sleep. But damage isn't going to wake them up, unlike Sleeps. They're just paralyzed for, in this case, 4 turns. So I do think Paralyze is probably the better of the two when you compare Sleep to Paralyze. It also says the effect can't be cleansed once it goes off. So yeah, I would say Paralyze is definitely a more effective version of Sleep. Just slightly less increased damage taken. So pretty cool stuff. We do like Paralyze. Let's talk about what this guy does as a whole package for you. So first things first, he is going to be obviously a sniper hit. So you get that 630% damage to the single target. That's a pretty big hit. We have an 1827 attack stat. Now that's a little bit lower than I was expecting to see out of this guy. But the reality is, a 630% hit on 1827% attack is still going to swing pretty hard. So it does give him a lot of potential to get a finishing move in. And when he does kill a target, which is relatively important, he is going to give all allies plus 30% mana, and their health is boosted by 1200. This is where I think this guy shines the most, is that mana boost. Don't get me wrong, the boosted health is fine. But this guy's job, in my opinion, will be to get you to a kill before your slow speed heroes have had a chance to go off. So in other words, his job is to expedite your slow speed heroes into becoming average speed by getting a kill in on curve, right? So you want this guy to hopefully be able to finish somebody off, push your slow specials out, maybe even the same turn he goes off with that 30% increased mana, and then, you just absolutely devastate them with your slow specials at a much faster speed than they were expecting. It's how this guy's designed to function. The problem is, like, I don't think he's one-shotting most people. So in reality, it requires a lot of setup because you need to have done some damage before this guy goes off. So you're talking about having either like a very fast or a fast hero to have weakened them to a point where Slaymire comes up to bat and can then and finish the job. So like I'm guessing this would be like a double sniper combo because the real goal is just to get a target down and then push the mana out, and hopefully that will help you whittle down the rest of the team. But a nice 1-2 punch with a strong sniper and then followed by this guy's hit could probably do that in most cases, and then it would expedite this guy's special, giving your team boosted health and mana to combat them. Now, in a weird world where this guy is not being used to kill a target, he does get his paralyze effect to kind of shut a target down. So let's say you don't get your first hit off before him, but you really need to stop a guy from casting their special or something like that. You can whack him with this guy. I mean, you may not kill him, but you're going to leave them with the paralyzed debuff to deal with. Now, they have 1 turn to cleanse that debuff off, but if they do not cleanse it in time, paralyze will hit for 4 turns. It's uncleansable, and it stops them from really affecting the field for a while you can try to gain control of the rest of what's going on your battle. So, like, I think the guy has purpose. I'm going to rate this guy a solid 8. The reason is that, like, I think he just functions very well as a sniper that gives you a lot of group benefit if you can get a kill with him. I also think that you can use him as a crowd control source. So this guy also creates defensive minions. What isn't he doing for your team? Like, I think he's doing a bunch of just things. He's not just your standard sniper that you bring in for additional damage. He's creating a bunch of group utility, which can help you along as well. So yeah, I mean, solid 8. If you get Slaymire Gratz, he's definitely, I think, more exciting than the Super Elemental costume that was released. But, it is what it is. So thank you all for tuning in. As always, if you like what I do, there's a little button at the bottom right. You can click on that to find me easier in the future. And we'll see you next time.